Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief with a difference with me, Rolene Marks. And again, I'm not in my office, I'm not in my studio. I am in the Eish HaTorah headquarters in Jerusalem. Across the way is the Kotel, is the Western Wall. And because today is such a special day, I have grabbed a very, very good friend of mine to join me for today's edition of the Israel Brief. And as always, I'm going to just remind you that today is day 837 since the 7th of October. And we are still waiting for the return of our last remaining hostage. Ran Gvili, our brother, the shield of Alumim, his remains are still held hostage, and we want him home now. So what has been happening in the news before I introduce you to this wonderful man beside me? Yesterday we spoke about President Trump's Board of Peace, and of course it's caused a lot of controversy. And I mentioned to you yesterday that my gut says, is this an alternative United Nations? And I mentioned that the Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, you can see he's not too happy about it, but he said all countries are able to join whatever organizations they want. Now, what is interesting is that President Trump has asked the European Union to join, and they are concerned that President Trump is starting an alternative to the United Nations. We also have a lot of consternation from Israel's side. We don't want Turkey, we don't want Qatar to have a presence in Gaza right on our border. In other news that is absolutely tragic that happened yesterday, making headlines not just in our papers, but in your papers as well, was the story of a gas leak in an unlicensed daycare center that's right here in Jerusalem. Over 50 children have been hospitalized. 2 babies have sadly passed away. Now, on the way here to the headquarters, we sat in a lot of traffic. There are massive demonstrations. The ultra-Orthodox, whose community are affected by this, they don't want the 2 babies that died to be autopsied. Autopsies are against the Jewish religion, with the exception of some cases. So this is a story that is dominating the headlines here in Israel. And also happening in Jerusalem is the destruction or demolishing of the UNRWA headquarters. UNRWA, the United Nations Relief Works Agency, are now banned in Israel, and as per the law here, the building has been demolished. We can't forget that UNRWA has not just incited hatred against Israelis and Jews for decades, but also participated in the atrocities of the 7th of October. So now that I've given you a little look at the headlines, let me introduce you to this very special man to my right. Eric Rubin is the CEO of Project Max. Eric, welcome to the Israel Brief. I know I just randomly grabbed you. We're about to sit on a panel, and here I am making you work for it. Tell our audience about Project Max, because it is one of the most incredible organizations.
Well, thanks for having me, Rolene, and you could grab me anytime, and my wife is okay with that. Well, first of all, and second of all, thank you so much for mentioning the work we do at Project Max. Our mission is to combat racism, anti-Semitism, and intolerance through sports by using current and retired professional athletes to speak out against hate. And you couldn't have picked, in a way, a better day, because in the United States, yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. And I think that it's really important to honor the legacy of a man who fought against hatred, inclusion, and equality for all, to talk about Project Max, and also to mention that the only Martin Luther King Boulevard in the entire Middle East is here in Jerusalem.
And also, what other people might not know is the only 9/11 memorial outside of the US is here in the outskirts of Jerusalem as well. It's testament to the strong bonds between our 2 countries. Now, you have brought some of the most incredible athletes to Israel. You've taken them all over the country. They have seen some of the incredible work that we do here, but have also visited places that are very important in that they have been affected by the war and affected by terror. So tell us, who have you brought here, and what were some of the highlights of their visits?
Well, we've had many ambassadors here of Project Max. One of the NFL all-time greats, Nick Lowry, another NFL all-time great, Tony Richardson, Eddie Curry from the NBA, who won a championship with Miami Heat, Josh Powell, Michael Sweetney, I feel bad, Sean Alexander, I sorry for those that I've left out. But, we've been from the north to the south. And, there are some things that have had profound impressions on them, as obviously what we've seen down in the OTEF and all the kibbutzim, but also they've been up north, and they saw what happened at Mazdal Shams, and saw the football field where 12 Druze children were massacred, and they saw the threat that we face not only in the south from Hamas, but also in the north from organizations like Hezbollah. But we've also had a chance to show them the real spirit of Israel and take them to organizations like Save a Child's Heart, where despite the fact that there has an ongoing war, we are still saving children's lives from all around the world, because that's who we are as Jewish people. That's what Israel is all about. Tikkun Olam is about repairing the world, and I don't know if there's an organization perhaps better suited that literally and figuratively is repairing the world than Save a Child's Heart.
Absolutely, and a couple of weeks ago we recognized Somaliland, Israel being the first country in the world to officially recognize the Republic of Somaliland, and we rescued Somaliland children. We saved and repaired their hearts as well. And something else that Eric does, apart from encouraging all of us who are active in explaining Israel's story to the world, something that this incredible man does better than anyone I know, and that is build bridges with other communities. Wherever there are friendships to be made and to be had with other communities around the world, whether it be through sports or diplomacy or in countries that we've recently recognized, Eric is there leading the way. Why is it so important we build allies?
Well, there are only somewhere between 15 to 16 million Jews in the world, and there are billions of people. And the fight against anti-Semitism needs to be led by others, and we need to build bridges to have those. I also think that while we love to talk about the history and the politics of Israel, we also have to realize this is the land of faith. They were called the Abraham Accords for a reason. And while it is the Jewish homeland, it is also of historical importance to Christians and Muslims, and bringing those people here from other faiths to talk about our shared values and our shared history is what brings us together. As opposed to talking about what divides us, let's talk about what brings us together, and is there a better place to talk about that than in Jerusalem?
Eric, I couldn't put it better myself. You are the consummate ambassador for goodwill, for faith, for healing, for building bridges, and for building allyship through mechanisms like sports and so many other ways. And that's why I had to grab it. It was so fortuitous that we've had this moment, and I thank you so much. And I thank you, our viewers, for putting up with the whole change in the way we're doing the Israel Brief this week. So just a reminder to you all to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. We have featured some of the work done by Project Max, so it's all up on there. We're on YouTube at the Israel Brief. Please hit that subscribe button. Let's grow our community. Let's get messages as important as Eric's out to the world. We are on Facebook at Lottel's site, and usually on Substack and LinkedIn when Rolene is in her office and can put it there, at Rolene Marks, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, and my own personal website at rorosrantings.com. So guys, from the eternal capital of the Jewish people, with my very, very good friend, Eric Rubin, the CEO of Project Max, and I'm making you my own personal ambassador to the rest of the world. My ambassador of choice, because nobody does it better than you. And thank you for all your support for all of us, from all the organizations that we represent, including my own WITSO, for always supporting us, for being the greatest cheerleader of us all, and for making a kick-ass lychee martini. So from the heart of Jerusalem, from myself, Rolene Marks,
From Eric Rubin.
thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.